59 ballots, 59 delegates. One final call, I'm going to call my number. Your name is your seated delegate. 1, Mark Ash. 2, James Bob Bedingfield. 3, Paul Billiard. 4, Whitney Billiard. 5, Jason Boyd. 6, Don Cheeseman. 7, Wayne Clark. 8, Jeff Dale. 9, Brenda DeHoyas. 10, Randall Dickey. 11, Anna Duderall. 12, Aaron Fields. 13, Aaron Fields. 14, T. Finnegan. 15, William Finnegan. 16, Gerald Fowler. 17, Brendan Glass. 18, Kathy Glass. 19, Tom Glass. 20, James Green. 21, Joanne Green. 22, Brett Hoggenbosser. 23, Clayton Hunt. 24, Laura Hunt. 25, David Hutzelman. 26, Luis Inventozzi. 27, Nick Inventozzi. 28, Ashley Johnson. 29, Johnny Johnson. 30, Vern Kirby. 31, Helene Knowlton. 32, Phil First. 33, David Lampert. 34, Ken Louder. 35, Larry Monks. 36, Matt Osterhaus. 37, Vivian Pollard. 38, Josh Creedy. 39, Rob Ward. 40, Elliot Sherman. 41, Matt Schroll. 42, Alan Smith. 43, Nicholas Smith. 44, Robert Spotswood. 45, John Staszewski. 46, James Tynan. 47, Gilberto Velasquez. 48, Sandra Veach. 49, J.P. Seesaw. 50, Alan Vogel. 51, Mary Wagner. 52, Wesley Warner. 53, Brad Walters. 54, Joe Carl White. 55, David Williams. 56, Mary Williams. 57, Kevin Wright. 58, Rowena Wright. 59, 60. That's a total of 60 delegates we were preparing. 59 delegates, we were preparing 59 ballots. And that's what will be passed out. We're having technical difficulties here, but we had some more nominations, I believe, to be made.
I'd like to nominate Gilberto Velasquez and James Seesaw.
So.
All right. Now we're going to prepare the ballot. So unless there's any objections, I'm going to declare nominations closed. Hearing no objections, nominations are closed. We're preparing a ballot. We'll print it out. And what we can now talk about how we're going to vote. Mr. Dale.
Will the counting of the votes be open for inspection?
Of course. We'll have our secretary will take responsibility for that, and there will be multiple observers. Mr. Hopkins.
Before I vote, I'm wondering if the people that are nominated, if they're present, if they could stand up.
Well, it depends on how much time we have, but since we're having these technical difficulties, I think that'd be in order to something along those lines. Mr. Clark.
Yeah, I was wondering if, in addition to just standing up, if they could take a little time to tell us why we should vote for them, because I don't know a lot of these people. Even if you only gave them 30 seconds each, that would be like 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's a long time. I'm not sure we got the room for that long. But something along those lines, we'll have to think about that. Now, how we vote, and as we can look at it like you're striking a jury. That is, you strike out the names you don't want. That's one way to know. You can circle the names you do want. I think we should probably just try to do both. Circle the names you do want and strike out the names you don't want, because this is important. It's going to be in numerical order, and you can only count a vote for 33 people. You must monitor yourself, because it's a secret ballot. But if you vote for 34 people or more, you voided your ballot. You overvoted. So that's why we're going to have a number, and you should. Nobody can monitor this but you. Yes.
Point 33 or less. You can vote.
Yeah, oh yes. Oh yes. That's right. Yes, Mr. Cheesley.
Yes, I wonder if it might be advantageous if you ask those people nominated, or at least tell them the expenses that they're going to encounter.
Well,
I think it's something like $300 and some odd.
Well, it's in Temple, and so you can calculate for yourself what it costs for you to get you to Temple. But people do carpool, and then there's more than likely an overnight stay at a hotel. I told it was a room rate of, was it $99? $89 for the Hilton Garden Inn. Of course, some people don't do that. Some people have relatives or friends that they stay with. So, but I think people are, if you're mature and adult enough to take on this responsibility, I think you're adult enough to know what is likely to be involved or what, how that works for you.
There's also an additional registration fee with the Libertarian Party as well.
No, there's not. There is not. For attending party business, there is no fee.
That's incorrect.
Now, if you want to attend some of the seminars and speakers, but if you're a delegate, you got party business to do on the floor. So you're not going to be able to do very many of those things. But there's a banquet. But those are extras. Nobody has to pay for that, only if you want to. Of course, we do encourage you to do that. It's good for the party, it's good for our finances, but it is not mandatory. And I think we have our technical difficulties fixed. I'm hearing the printer work. Now, anyone that wants to be, has, name is on this list, that if you want to come and say a few words, very few, to support your nomination, then I think now's the time to do it. Otherwise, people are just voting on your name. You don't choose to introduce yourself. Mr. Ty.
Yes, ma'am. Should I just stand here? Do you want me to come up front?
I think you're fine.
Okay. James Tyden. I'm from Harris County. I've been involved with the Libertarian Party for about 10 years. Just moved to Houston this summer from Florida, where I got a degree in Middle Eastern politics and archaeology. My biggest points for the Libertarian Party, I think, is freeing up schools. I came back with $50,000 in financial debt from school, and I think one of the biggest ideals of freedom is actually freeing up our children's minds. They are the future of the world and possibly the future of our party. And if we can start implementing some of the objectivisms we use here in the Libertarian Party, freeing up regulation from schools and allowing them to actually succeed on their own merit, I think that's going to bring about a lot of freedom that we can see in the future. So, thank you very much.
It's up to you. If you want your nomination to be black on white, then that's fine. If you want to introduce yourself, Ms. McNichol.
Good morning. My name is Bill McNichol. I've been a card-carrying, dues-paying member of the Libertarian Party at the state, national, and county levels for 27 years. I want to go to the county convention. I've already booked my room. I've paid the fees.
Now, Ms. McNichol, was that non-refundable?
No. I'm going to be there whether I'm a delegate or not. I want to be a delegate. Please vote for me to be a delegate.
Hi, I'm Clayton Hunt. I'm kind of the same boat as Mr. McNichol. I'm a SLAC member. I've been involved in the party. I'm coming in, bringing some new blood and some new energy, and I really would like to go in and help with the Libertarian Party state convention. I've already been to a state convention. I did the Republican thing in 2012 for Ron Paul, but I learned from my mistakes. I've been a member since August 29th, 2012. When I came over due to Ms. T. Finnegan's efforts of recruiting Ron Paul people to the Libertarian Party, and I've never looked back. I am glad and proud to be a Libertarian Party member.
And I'd like to be a delegate, and I'm going to agree with Mr. Tyden.
Tyden, yes, sir.
About the youth, that this is where they're going to attempt to take over our country. If they can't take over this country during our lifetime, they're going to attack the youth in the next generation. We got to get these people out. Can you repeat your name?
James Beasley.
I am Johnny Johnson. I'm a veteran. Up until this year, I voted Republican as long as I can remember. I've done work. Washington is broken. The two-party system is corrupt. Would I hear that from? Something has to be changed, and it has to be changed at the local level. Johnny Johnson, I'd really like to go in, and since I already have reservations there too. Thank you. And Kirby's back. Yeah, amen.
I'm Brandon Hoyes, candidate for Lieutenant Governor.
I'm a journalist, have been for the last 12 years. Every time I had an opportunity to interview a Republican or a Democrat, that one question turned into 30. By what authority do you derive your power from? It's certainly not the people the way you act, and it's certainly not the Constitution. Our party has reached a critical moment. Are we going to be a party that is for liberty and for freedom when it is politically expedient or convenient, or are we going to stand with our neighbors, whether we agree with them or not, and fight for their liberty? That is why I'm in this race, and I would love your support today.
Now's not the time to jump up.
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Doyle.
My name is Anna Duterrell, Duterrroil, and I'm a convert, and I would be delighted to represent the Libertarian Party.
Hello, my name is Jason Bowie. I'm a veteran of the First Gulf War and the Kosovo conflict, and my belief is that, just like many of you feel, that we are completely underrepresented by the two-party system, and it is time that we take the initiative and begin acting like a serious political party, and it's great that we have such great attendance. My primary strengths lie in the fact of I am definitely interested in making sure that the people that we send to government office are, number one, electable, and number two, representative of the Libertarian Party in of itself, and that we avoid being co-opted by other groups such as the Tea Party or the offshoots of the Republican Party. So I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Helene Bolton, and I came to the Libertarian Party through a different circuitous route, through the Democratic Party. And I believe I really want to dedicate myself to getting our people elected at the state level, at the national level, at the local level. And it begins at the beginning, and this is what we have to do. We do that by building strong relationships with other groups and getting out there to the community, talking about it with our neighbors, and growing this at the local level. I'd really like to have your vote, and I've already got vacation time off work.
Hello everyone, Elliot Sherman. I'm really active with the County Party, and actually I already have our registration state for us. That'd be nice if you sent us. Thank you.
There is another Libertarian Party romance. That's how Tom and I met.
I'm Alan Smith. I can't say that I was a convert. I think I was there from high school, and then I finally discovered the Libertarian Party in 1980. So I've been active in the Libertarian. I was delegate when Nancy Parker was being nominated. So I would ask to send me to the state.
I'm Jeff Deal, actually a former Harris County Libertarian Party chair myself. I hold two records, one most unusual last name in Libertarian Party history, D-A-I-E-L-L, and also the most successful candidate for governor in the Libertarian Party of Texas history. So I bring a unique perspective of both state and local activism to the state convention and become a delegate.
I'm Mark Ash. I'm on the top of the list. And I'm running also for the top court, the Texas Supreme Court. And I'm running as a person who believes seriously in limited government, and the Constitution limits our government. And I hope to be also a delegate and help the Libertarian Party any way I can.
My name is Aaron Fields, number 8 program, number 1 in your heart. I speak for Aaron, my brother Brandon Fields, Josh Pretty, and Rachel Clifton, who couldn't attend today. She's in Turkey, their precinct. We are committed 100% to the idea of nullification. And as such, we have family in Temple, so we don't have any money on the line, but more money to donate to the party. And we do plan on nominating Kathy for governor because we believe in nullification.
Howdy, my name is Brandon Glass. I'm with Tom and Kathy. I don't like paying extra for Medicare. I would like to not pay 25% or more of my hard-earned money to the government. And I would like that we have more freedoms for our states' rights here in Texas. So that's why I would like to go to the state convention to be able to help represent those causes. I don't like that there's a state monopoly on education. That is something I would like to see as well.
My name is Ken Lauder. I'm running for the Texas House 28th House District. That's the Daytona Fort area. I'm a retired coastie of 20 years. Voted Republican until we got ready to elect Barack Obama. I'd had enough of the party. I'd had enough of voting for the lesser of two evils. As far as I'm concerned, if you're voting for the lesser of two evils, you own that evil. And that's what we've got today. My job as a representative in Texas is to protect Texas against that encroachment from the federal government as well as outside sources. I'd like to be a delegate as well so I can help get other people in the party onto our platform. Thank you.
My name is Vivian Pollock. I'm both a veteran and I'm just saying that I'm tired and I just want to stand up for the Constitution and state rights, and so I'd like to be a delegate to the convention. Thank you.
I'm Whitney Billieu, and I'm a candidate for the Texas Senate District 7, and I am an educator. A lot of you have been talking about the kids and the schools, and I'm 100% committed to advancing the cause of liberty and the Libertarian Party through this entire process, including the state level. My husband, Paul, and I are already registered for the convention, so hopefully I get to vote someday. And hopefully I receive my nomination.
My name is Gerald Fowler. I'm number 10 on the list. I'm a candidate for Congressional District 7, and I think that I'm going to make it my business to try and convince all those people out there to quit wasting their votes and start voting Libertarian.
Howdy. There we go. That's what I like to hear. My name is Gilberto Velasquez. I am running as the Libertarian Party for Texas Senate District 15. And the reason that I came to the party was a result of Tom and Kathy in a phone conversation I had where I was fed up with the two-party system. It is broke, it is corrupt, as Mr. Johnson said, and I want to be sent up there to Temple, Texas to make sure we begin the process of fixing all of that. So vote for me, number 33, Gilberto Velasquez.
Okay, Mr. Green.
I'm Doc Green. Some of you know who I am, and I'm a recent convert as well. I'm sick and tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. And I'm voting for liberty, and which is why I brought a resolution today to make that happen.
David Huxelman. I'm Kathy's campaign treasurer for last race.
I want to talk to you about that.
I'm also former candidate for governor for the Libertarian Party, and I've been a member of the party since 1974.
Okay, ladies first.
Oh,
Absolutely.
sorry. Hi, my name is T. Finnegan, and I don't see me on the list, but I heard my name.
Number 36.
Okay. I am locally active and want to take that local activity to the state level and have an effect on how the direction of the party. And as with some of the other people, my focus is on bringing in the youth and the young people and helping them to have a voice and to have their voices heard. And so I would like to be a delegate to the state.
My name is Bernie Kirby, and I'm Johnny Johnson's campaign manager. I've known Johnny for over 40 years, and when he announced that he was going to run for Congress, I immediately came to support. I've been an independent businessman most of my life and enjoyed a level of freedom that most people never get to achieve any other way. I see those opportunities disappearing in this country, and I'd like to see them continue for the generations that follow. There's nothing better than America, be an independent businessman, do what you want to do when you want to do it.
I have an announcement, Ms. Chair, and that is that we have ballots now ready for use whenever a delegation and you are ready.
this is the process. We're going to have our secretary, convention secretary, pass out about 59 ballots to 59 credentialed voting delegates. And then we're going to discuss how we're going to vote. He can start passing them out now. But I would entertain a motion that is with respect to alternates. So we don't have to do this twice. I would entertain a motion that those who did not make the cut of 33 are made alternates.
Second.
Okay, somebody got to make a motion. Okay, motion made and seconded. And, yes, Kevin.
Is there anybody who's on the ballot that's here that does not want to go at this point?
I think that we pretty much weeded out people who weren't, maybe wouldn't say we didn't want to go, but we weren't as committed as others and would like others to take their place due to the likelihood that they would actually go. That's what I think. Now, anybody else want to talk about this? With respect to alternates, I just can't reinforce enough that based on what I think will happen, it's highly unlikely you will be seated as a delegate at the state convention come what may. But with that understanding, I'm pleased to allow us to put this forward. And if nothing else, you can go to the convention and have that recognition from your home delegation that yes, we are behind you. So, but if anybody has any questions about that, let me know. Yes.
You had said earlier, all counties get at least 4 delegates.
Yes.
So let's say a county, 2 of their delegates don't show up. That doesn't mean another county gets 2 other delegates.
No. And yes, I think it's 33 and 4 is not enough for a county as big as ours. We need more representation next time around. But I think we can do that by raising our the 33 not being the top, maybe 50 or 100 is the top, and then 4 is a minimum, which makes some proportionate sense. But that's part of our rules that we will address at the state convention.
While we're waiting on the papers to be passed out, when how are the rules like that made? Are they made at the state convention?
Yes, yes. There's a way that the state committee, executive committee can make a temporary rule with a 4/5 vote, but that only lasts, and that's really for emergencies. We only use it once in our law. Or something came up in the middle and our rules were binding us from doing some essential business.
Okay.
But other than that, it's at the state convention, and there's a rules committee, they'll be putting out a report. You can read that ahead of time and come. We have a platform committee too, so they'll be doing the same thing. So you can see what changes and modifications are proposed before you can get to the convention. And there will be things at the convention. There will be meetings or ways that you can go and meet the rules committee and talk to them, maybe make a proposal, maybe let them make it in their report. There's a way that you can make proposals, and we've done this in 2012 and that time from the floor. Our notification plan came entirely from the floor in 2012. And it made it because people went, and with end result being that in this era of nullification, the Liberty Party of Texas is the only party that has a nullification blank in our platform. And I've used that repeatedly.
Are all the ballots distributed?
No, not yet.
I don't have mine. So let me urge caution and diligence. Do not vote for more than 33. Yes, we're still on instructions. I mean, I would urge you not to start marking your ballot until you're heard. But only 33, that's why we number. If you vote out of sequence, count. If you need a calculator, we'll get one. Nobody can check your work, though. You're on your own here. Don't void your ballot. Because in the ones that you were willing to, let's see, delegates, be alternates, keep that in mind. Mr. White.
Just a question on how you, uniformity in how the ballots are marked. Are we striking the ones?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Well, I think it might be helpful just in terms of.
Okay. I'm going to circle means you like them, you're voting for them. Striking out means you don't want them for delegates. They can be, even if you strike them out, they can be alternate. So this is something that we need. I'm going to be clear. I'm going to circle the ones I want, I'm voting for, and strike out the ones I'm not.
All right, point of information. We have people that are provincial delegates here who do not have a ballot. We printed out 59 and numbered them, and have distributed them now, and there are 2 people who does not.
One is Rachel Clifton, and she's in Turkey, but she does want to be a state delegate.
No.
She's on.
No, who's voting? Who's voting? If you're a person with a badge and you don't have a ballot, raise your hand. It's 2 people, right?
No,
3.
But as parliamentarian, I'm not supposed to vote.
Oh, yes, you can vote.
Yes, you can. It is a secret ballot. All people can
Everybody, cheer everybody. No. Okay, I'll take you away. You're not parliamentarian. We haven't needed you yet. It was just a precaution. You need to vote.
So, the question is, we think we've created 59 unique ballots, each one of them. And the question is does somebody have a ballot? Since there's 2 people or 3 people that don't have ballots who are provincial badges.
I don't know.
We either have a number problem, we have a count problem, or we have an issue that somebody has a ballot that is not a delegate with a badge.
Well, I don't know how to cure this.
Recommending counting off everybody, count each ballot.
That's a process.
Go down your list of the 59 people and ask them.
If you want to, how much
number you have.
Okay.
Mark Ash, you have a ballot.
We don't know what number you have. That takes
I'm just saying, every board, you raise your hand on 1, 2, and 3.
Well, somebody doesn't.
Well, I don't know if people know the number.
It's on the top.
No, that's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, we don't want to give over the secrecy of the ballot.
Okay. 2, Bettingfield. Ballot? You got a ballot? 3, Paul Billiard.
Yes.
4, Whitney Billiard. Okay, give Whitney a ballot.
All right, so are you guys saying that we should go ahead and
She has to
print
have
her
a ballot.
All right.
I think as parliamentarian, I vote on secret paper ballots only.
Yes, and that's what this is. This is a secret paper ballot.
Does anybody need pens?
60.
Okay, I'm going to go for
Need one or?
Thank you.
5, Louis. You have a ballot? 6, Cheeseman. Have a
Yes.
ballot? 7, Clark.
Yes.
8, Dale. Devin, you got your ballot?
Yes.
9, DeHoya.
Yes.
10, Dickey.
Yes.
11, Duderall. Yes. 12, Fields, Aaron.
Yes.
13, Fields, Brandon.
Yes.
14, Finnegan.
Yes.
15, Finnegan.
Yes.
16, Fowler. 17, Brandon Glass.
Yes.
18, Kathy Glass. No.
All right, we're creating number 61.
Oh, now we know what's here.
No, we're not going to, we're going to switch around.
19, Tom Glass.
Yes, I do.
20, Green, James Green.
Right here.
21, Dwayne Green. That's your ballot. 22, Hopkins Foster. 23, Hunt, Clayton. 24, Hunt, Laura. Have your ballot? Laura, where's Laura?
Laura.
Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sorry. Oh, Karen, you have your ballot. 25, Hutzelman. 26, Luis Toaster. 27, Nick Toaster. 28, Ashley Johnson. 29, Johnny Johnson.
Yes.
30, Vern Kirby.
Yes.
31, Helene Knowlton. Yes. 32, Kurtz.
I have mine.
33, Lambert.
Yes.
34, Louder. 35, Monks.
Negative. Creating 60.
Wait a minute. Here's the problem. Bill McNichols. Yes. That was one number. 35, Nickel. 36, Monks.
Yes. Yes.
37, Osterhouse.
Yes.
38, Pollard. Yes. 39, Creedy.
Yes.
40, Rohr.
Yes.
41, Sherman.
Yes.
42 Schroll.
Yes.
43 Smith.
Yes.
44 Nicholas Smith.
Yes.
45 Spotswood.
Yes.
46 Stazewski.
Yes.
47 Tynan.
Yes.
48 Velasquez.
Yes.
49 Beach.
Yes.
50 Visall. 51 Vogel.
Yes.
52 Wagner.
Yes.
53 Walner.
Yes.
54 Walters.
Yes.
55 White.
Yes, ma'am.
56 Williams.
Yes.
56 Mary Williams.
Yes.
58 Wright. Kevin Wright.
Yes.
59 Rowena White.
Yes.
60 Zachary. Yes. Okay. So it was 60 was the true delegate count.
And we had 61 ballots out.
Well, we're going to take them up one at a time.
If you have a badge, your name's out. Right?
Yes, and there's going to be a badge check and a ballot check. And if we miss somebody else, we'll figure it out.
You did 1250.
Oh, I have one. I can't get it.
Oh, she's the 61st.
She's the 61st.
So we're good. We're met.
Thank you. I think we're good to go. Next Sanders, right?
All right. Point of information.
All right, yes.
Point of information. I believe we are now ready to vote. I would like to hear, I didn't hear it, I'd like to hear the recommended weight and mark the ballot one more time, please.
Let's just agree we'll do this. This is a sample. This is a sample.
Point of information.
Yes.
It's, since we're only allowed 33 ballot, 33 total, it's really easy to count strikeouts. A lot easier to count strikeouts than the number you sort of.
That's why you pick a jury.
Some of us may not select them.
So I'm gonna strike out the ones that I don't want, and then I'm going to circle the ones I do want. I just think it's belt and suspenders.
If we just agree to circle the ones we want.
Yes.
To be sure, strike out the ones.
And not do anything else, just circle the ones.
Well, I'm gonna vote.
You can circle, you can cross out, you can do both,
Yes.
whatever you want.
But uniformity does help for counting. When they count the ballots, if we use a uniform method, then it just makes it go smoother. Yes, sir.
So when we count the ballots, we need to make sure that the counter is in a place where there are no other papers in the area other than the weight papers they receive, right?
Right.
Seems like a good way to make it look.
Yeah. That's a good point. Now, I'm going to, after we get our 33, I'm going to entertain a motion to make the rest, I'm going to accept it, make the rest alternates. So,
We already had that motion.
yes, but I'm going to make it formally, by name. At that point, once we know names, we're going to formally read the names of the 33, and that's the result of the ballot. And we don't need to vote on those again, we've already done it. But then we're going to vote on the alternates by name, because I don't want any inference as to who are alternates. We're going to list the delegates by name and the alternates by name. All right, are we ready to vote? Mr. Murphy?
Point of order, there's a motion on the floor to make the alternates, so we need to vote on that.
We can do that, but we can delay until after this.
Just that.
Yes. Yes. I think it's better to vote on that with specific names and put it in the minutes, so that the Credentials Committee knows who, doesn't have to ferret out through some process by making inferences as to who the alternates are. All right, let's take,
Secretary.
yes, does anybody need any additional time to vote? Okay, let's just take a few minutes.
You ready to pen?
Yes, I think voting on the tab. Just be patient, let the secretary make his rounds in his own way.
And he will be patient with you if you want.
Now, while we're collecting the ballots, let's talk about counting the ballots. The secretary is in charge of counting the ballots. But we would like to have some watchers. This may take you away from, this may take a while, this may take you away from this. I need to see you. But I was going to ask if someone would like to do that.
How many are in this row and how many are on?
Okay, thank you. Would you state your name, sir?
Wesley Wong.
Wesley Wong. Mr. Spotswood?
I'll volunteer.
Thank you, that's quite great. I think maybe one or two more. Ms. Bedingfield?
How many total?
How many total are we voting for? 33. The Harris County, 33.
Are you asking for volunteers to what county, is that what you said? I didn't hear
Who
you.
wants to oversee? The secretary will do the actual count. But the server.
Either one, I will.
Okay, and I just say that that can take a while, and that will take you away from business on the floor, possibly.
Let me know when your eyes raise up.
Well, we have 2 volunteer watchers. I think we could use 1 or 2 more if anyone wants to. Okay. Mr. Boyd? And of course, the ballots will be kept by the secretary until whatever point they're no longer needed.
After we vote.
I think this room has worked out nicely. When I saw the numbers come in, I thought, oh, we're going to be a big one. Has everyone turned in Mr. Kirkpatrick? All ballots and okay.
Okay. 33, right? 30. Get that. I think I got it.
Take it easy. Yeah, always think about it. Yeah. All right.
Everyone turned in the ballot. Last call for ballot. Last call for ballot.
Yep.
The secretary is going to take the ballot from outside at the table and count them outside for all. Nobody wants to do that. Where are we going to have do you want to have a problem when the ballot is being taken and we're getting it?
Order!
Yes. We could bring a table in here and see the counting right here if you wanted to. Well, otherwise, take it outside, let's go to the room. But anyone who wants to watch is free to do so, wherever it is, within reason. Any ballot. Any ballot, last call for ballot. Thank you, James. Okay, is there any objection to counting the ballots outside on that table? You can go video it if you want to, but you can't see the ballots.
I would rather have them counted in here.
I'll second the motion. All right. Would you bring a table and put it here, please? Yes. Oh, we have a table.
Got a table.
Okay.
Point of order.
Yes, Mr. President.
That motion should be up for vote, whether they're voted in here or outside.
Well, I'm going to rule as a chair that it should be counted here. That's my rule.
Point of inquiry, if a ballot is stricken, does that ballot become visible to the poll counters?
The ballots can be inspected, all of them. And so if someone says this is a voided ballot, then under the supervision of the secretary and his control, you can look at that or any other ballot. I hope we don't get any hanging chats. Okay. Now, we're going to move on to other business while this is being done. Now we turn to the election of county officers. Let's start with chair. Have any nominations?
I nominate
Who's vote?
I nominate
Okay. I accept that nomination.
I nominate Finnegan.
You accept the
I
nomination?
did accept that nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Don't want to be hasty. Is there any objection to closing nominations? Hearing no objection, I rule that nominations are closed. Now, for this part, I'm going to step aside and let Mr. Fowler conduct this part of the ballot.
All right, then, by show of hands, Dave Finnegan? All those.
But wait, may we have words from two candidates, please?
As far as I'm concerned, that's fine. Shall we?
Okay.
Ms. Finnegan?
Yes, sir. Well,
Could you?
I'm just slow. As many of you know, I'm a local activist, and we passed out a little brochure here, and I think there's some almost 20 organizations with which myself and Clayton Hunt interact with on a regular basis all across the spectrum, from youth groups to Republican Liberty Caucus to issues-based groups like Normal and Second Amendment, Open Carry Texas, and Come and Take It Texas, and different things. And we are constantly alone at all of these events as the token libertarians. And we would like to change that. While Ms. Glass has done great things at the state level, I think her focus is a little bit too split to handle both state and local campaigns and issues. And there are a couple of things I noticed from the 2012 minutes, that one of the things that I worked on, and I gathered signatures at the Pride Parade for the against the anti-feeding ordinance. And in the 2012 resolution, it said that was one thing that was going to be dealt with. And I don't think I got any cooperation from the local party on that at all. I was out there by myself as a lone libertarian collecting signatures on that. I am here to bring in more people. And I support Kathy Glass in her efforts to be governor, but I think I'm more suited to handle the local level and attending county city council meetings and I actually live in Harris County all week long, so that's important, being able to, for people to be able to access you and be able to reach you and you to be able to attend meetings and functions and gather support for the local party. So, that's it.
Thank you.
I'm not going to waste too much time here. I think you know me. My record speaks for itself. We've had tremendous growth and positive development over the last 2 years, and I can do it all. I'm retired. My husband's retired. This is our full-time job, and we can run statewide campaigns and help this party grow, especially with all the new people coming and taking on roles and responsibilities, including Tim. So I would accept the nomination, and I would ask for your vote for chair. Thank you.
Motion to field questions.
Motion to ask the candidates questions. Is there any objection?
Objection.
In the
Issue of time. Objection.
I have to agree in the interest of time. Let's. I think we've heard from the candidates now. Then by show of hands for county chair in favor of Chief Hennigan. Up high. All right, thank you. All those in favor of Kathy Glass? And Kathy Glass is elected.
Would you like the numbers?
Well, what I did, and if someone wants to correct me, once I got over the amount of votes, and then I called the election. Does anybody want me to count the full votes? All right, Ms. Glass.
Thank you, Mr. Fallon, for taking that on, and thank you, T, for showing the interest in the party that you have. And we will work together from this point forward. Let's vote to the vice chair. Any nominations for vice chair? Mr. Schwab.
I nominate Tom Glass.
Okay.
I decline.
And Mr. Glass declines that nomination. Mr. Velasquez.
I nominate Gerald Fowler for vice chair.
Do you accept that nomination, Mr. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Deutsch.
I nominate Clayton Hunt for vice chair.
Mr. Hunt, do you accept the nomination?
I nominate Doc Green.
Doc Green. Doc Green, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Any other nominations? Any nominations? Going to West Springfield.
T. Finnegan.
T. Finnegan, do you accept that nomination?
I will accept.
Anyone else? Crowded field. There's no limit.
Can I change my mind?
No.
I'm all blushy and stuff.
Ms. Finnegan, withdraw.
Thank you.
All right, we have 3 candidates. We have Gerald Fowler. We have Doc Green. You're being formal here. I guess I should call him Dr. Green. And we have Clayton Hunt. Would you like to hear from each of them briefly?
Yes.
All right, well, who was first nominated?
Gerald.
Mr. Fowler, would you say a few words?
Sure. My name is Gerald Fowler. I stood up a minute ago. I'm running for Congressional District 7. I've been involved in the party for quite a while now. I show up at a lot of the meetings, which I think is probably the best qualification you can have, is that you're there. And I pledge, if you like me, to be there and to show up at the meeting. Thank you.
Second nomination.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Harrisville Independent Party. I come for you today to ask for your vote for the vice chair position. For this party, and I was going to say great party, but we haven't allowed ourselves to be great. Winston Churchill once said, the price of greatness is responsibility. And I feel that we have not been responsible. Too long have we let the party sit idle and stagnate, really. We've let ourselves
get used to a small group. And this, honestly, I'm sorry if I don't know many of the faces here, but I would love to see y'all come out to the meetings, come out to events, and stuff beyond the convention. The convention is fine, but we need to support our candidates and support our party year-round. So T and I have been working for that. As she mentioned, we've been to about 20 different groups, anything from LGBT caucus to Second Amendment to Small Business Connection. We've been finding groups that have common issues with us, common goals, and building that relationship to bring in their support for the Libertarian Party and to tell them, we are your political go-to guys. You don't need to go to the Republicans or the Democrats. They want your vote, but they don't have your interests at heart. We do. And I really think that we need to go out there and help establish these relationships, establish the connections that we need to have to succeed as a party. Because we're about to see a huge shift in the political landscape. The Republicans are not doing so well. If you see the McCains and Mitt Romneys, they've shown that they can't nominate anybody that gets the vote. If we can go out there and say, guess what? We're here. We have the ideals of freedom. Not just the ideals. We have the principles to stand up behind them and put those into action and actually push for liberty in our lifetimes. I think we can get a large amount of people saying, you know what? I think I'm going to vote Libertarian this time. I believe that. Thank you very much.
Mr. Green.
I'll stand up here for a minute. I'm Doc Green. Some of you heard me on the radio. I'm a relative newcomer, but I have to agree with a lot of things that Clayton said. And one of the things we need outreach. The Republicans have utterly failed the citizens of Texas and the citizens of the United States. I have 9 grandchildren. I am doing this because I care about where they're going to live. I'm an old guy, so it doesn't really matter where I live, but I care about my 9 grandchildren, and I care about you. And because I have the opportunity to get on the radio every day and vent for 2 hours, I can do a lot to bring the visibility of the Libertarian Party up. And that is my goal, just like Clayton says, and to work with these guys to make sure that we're covering all of these events. I likewise, with my associate Johnny Johnson, who's kind enough to fly me around, I go to a lot of events. I get the opportunity to speak to people, and I want to make sure that they know that there is a choice. And if you keep voting for Republican, if you keep voting Democrat, you're going to keep getting the same crap you've been getting. It's time to make a change. I'm Doc Green, and I'm asking for your vote.
Well, since we have a three-way race, let me mention that it's always an option just to not vote. You can vote for none of the above, or just not vote. But I think we have a good selection here, so that's not one that everyone's going to consider. But you can always do that. Just like you can always go to a primary ballot and not vote for anybody on the ballot. So, is anyone wish to have a seconding speech? Or someone wish to speak in support of a candidate? Mr. Johnson.
I rise to speak in support of Doc Green. He's on the radio 2 hours a day. He has, if we're talking about a politician who's not a politician, someone who's there to get the word out, Doc Green's your guy.
Now, I would like to speak on behalf of Clayton Hunt, and many people here have spoken about the need to get the youth involved. He's 20 years old, and he's active, and he's well known around campus and around several other organizations, and I think if you've got somebody older, you ought to have somebody younger there reaching out as well.
Is that a dig at me?
Well, I'm older too.
I would like to say the same thing, that I believe Clayton is
done a wonderful job with the youth, and I think he's participated a lot.
Mr. Boyd.
I'd also like to speak in favor of Clayton Hunt for vice chair. It has been espoused the idea that Clayton could go out and build coalitions with all these groups, without an official title. But how much greater will that message be received if they know it's coming directly from the Harris County Libertarian Party? I hope you will support Clayton Hunt. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we vote by show of hands, but of course we also have other alternatives. Yeah, that's what my motion is.
Well, I'd like to say a few words about Gerald Fowler. Gerald has been there for us for the last 2 years. He comes to us from the Democratic side of the spectrum. He brings a lot of wisdom and experience. He's an accomplished trial attorney, and with that busy practice, he's still done a lot. He hosted one of these precinct conventions and was very instrumental in getting those running, and so he's running for office himself. So I did ask Gerald if he would consider this nomination, so I still think he's the man for the job, even though I love Dr. Green and hate Clayton too. So that's why I would say, Mr. Hudson.
Absolute majority required, or is it just a plurality?
We're going to get a majority. If it's a plurality, we'll have a runoff, instant runoff. But yes, we need to make this a majority vote. Now, as far as voting, our rules do say we should do a secret paper ballot. I think we can do it openly if we choose. And if I say our rules, I mean the state rules, party rules. Our local Harris County rules said no secret ballot ever. So there's a conflict there. But it's particularly from the 3 contestants. I think they're the ones who would have the right to insist on a secret ballot if they chose to do so. And I would rule that was in order if anyone wants that. Is there any objection from anyone to doing this by a show of hands?
Objection to secret ballots?
No objection to do it by show of hands in lieu of a secret ballot. Because we could do that. It's just a matter of time. And when our personnel is still tied up. Okay, then I'm going to proceed to a vote. Are we ready to vote on the vice chair?
Sorry.
Yes, Ms. Gill.
People can vote for more than one person?
No, one. And if that's not a plurality, we have our count of 61. So 31. You would have to have 31 votes to get a majority. Mr. Chairman.
Other people participating in council?
I don't want to distract them. If we get to that their votes matter, then I'm going to ask them to stop and weigh in on the vote in order to avoid maybe a runoff if we can get to that point. But at this point, I want them to stay focused on that. If they so choose, of course they have the right to break away and vote. Ms. Finnegan.
Yeah, I don't understand telling them they can't vote.
No, I didn't say they can't. I'm not going to insist on it. We'll let them decide if they need to stay focused on what they're doing or if they want to vote. But if we need 4 votes to get to a majority, I'm going to ask them if they will please. I can't make them vote. I can't make them not vote. If you want to ask them to vote, stop what they're doing and vote, you can do that.
I would ask that they stop and vote.
Okay. Larry, Mr. Secretary, are you at a stopping point where you could stop and vote?
One moment.
One moment.
Just one.
One moment. All right. I'm going to call the question on our vice chair. Nominees are Gerald Fowler, Doc Green, and Clayton Hunt. All in favor of Mr. Fowler, raise your hand. Over here. Okay. All right. All in favor of Doc Green, raise your hand. All in favor of Clayton Hunt, raise your hand. Did I miss?
They already voted. All four.
I don't think I recorded all of your votes. Can you tell me? Okay. Then that's it. Well. I only have 55 votes. So some people may not have voted, and that's fine. But I have Gerald Fowler 19, Doc Green 19, Clayton Hunt 17.
Why do you do a paper ballot?
Well, I don't even do it halfway. We start off on one half. Does anyone have see any objection to voting in a runoff between Gerald Fowler and Doc Green? Okay. I don't think we need any more speeches. Are we ready to vote? All right. Show of hands. Gerald Fowler. Let's count this. If you would do a count, as soon as I point to you, say 1 and take your hand down. Okay? Yes. Not everybody said
2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7,
8,
9, 10,
11,
12, 13,
14,
15,
16,
17,
18,
19.
20, 21,
22,
24.
Yeah, one more.
24 right there.
Kathy? 24.
24.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
24. All right. Doc Green, same procedure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9,
10,
11, 12, 13,
14,
15.
16, 17, 18,
20,
22,
23.
24.
25.
26,
27.
We have three such fine candidates, and hope that the others, I know the others, will still be in there supporting the party. Okay, secretary.
I nominate Brandon Ellis.
You accept that nomination.
I'll accept the nomination, Secretary.
I nominate Whitney Billiard.
When you do, you accept that nomination.
I nominate Elliot Sherman.
Elliot Sherman, we accept that nomination.
Yes.
Yes.
I nominate Larry Monks.
Mr. Monks, you accept that nomination. That'd be a bad time to ask him. He might be ready for it.
I'm behind the curve. I have a nominee. Who did you nominate for secretary?
It's Brandon DeForest, Whitney Billiard, Elliot Sherman, Larry Monks. Yes. Ms. Billiard withdraws.
Okay. So that means. All right, who nominated Elliot?
Ashley Johnson. All right. Do you want to briefly hear from the candidates? Mr. Monks is now. Mr. Sherman, would you like to say a few words?
Hi everyone, my name is Elliot Sherman. I've been involved in the Harris County Libertarian Party since I heard about it. I got tired of ranting on Facebook and wanted to get involved, so I looked it up and found the meeting place over 2016. I've been to every meeting since. I have served on the Board of Advisors for my Fraternity Alumni Association as secretary for 2 years in the past, and I've served as the president. And very familiar with our Robert's Rules of Order and good at capturing minutes and that type of thing, good at communication with everybody. And I'd like to have your vote. Thank you.
Well, depending on who you ask, for a journalist, facts are important things. As secretary, I'd be called upon to record accurately the proceedings that we have here in the Harris County Libertarian Party. Facts matter. I understand that, and I would like to capture every moment for our party as your next secretary. I appreciate your support.
Mr. Musk, you wish to speak a few words?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to withdraw nomination.
All right. We will miss Larry. He's been a very fine secretary, and he's very diligent and punctual. Okay, any other nominations? Are we ready to vote? Voting for the position of secretary, the candidates are Elliot Sherman and Brandon DeHoyas. Gentlemen, does anyone wish to have a secret ballot on this? Or we want to vote the way we did before? Of course, none of the vote is an option, and if you don't vote for either one of these, I'm assuming you're voting for none of the above by not voting. So that's your option. I don't think anyone's going to want to take that with these fine candidates. All right, if we're ready to vote, Elliot Sherman, raise your hand. We'll do the count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
7,
8,
9,
10,
11,
12,
13, 14,
15,
16,
17,
18,
19?
20,
21, 22, 23,
24,
25, 28, 29, 30, 31, 52,
33.
34.
So we don't even need the number?
And the chair votes 35. Mr. DeHoyas?
Madam Chairman, there's no need to count, it's already a majority.
Well, Mr. DeHoyas one is going to
I will
count.
concede.
Congratulations to both of you for a well-run campaign. Treasurer.
I nominate Tom Glass as treasurer.
Will Mr. Glass accept the nomination? Nobody wants a treasurer, Joe. Any other nominations? Hearing no objections, I'm going to declare nominations closed. And will we vote by acclamation? Just all in favor of Tom Glass, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None of you will? Okay. Mr. Vice Mayor. Now, that is all the county officers that we vote on.
Yes.
So, yes.
Would we be able to create some kind of outreach committee?
We can do that, but it's not an elected position. So we can definitely do that, and I like that. I like that a lot. Maybe after we officially adjourn, or other business, if we got time into other business. But we do need to have an adjournment, so that things are closed, that the business that's got to be done. And then we've got the room till 12. Make use of that. Now, we're going to turn to selecting delegates to the district convention. This is a little bit unusual, hard to grasp, but we have county conventions where we nominate our candidates whose areas are totally within their county. But then we also have joint district conventions for candidates whose districts transcend county lines, cross county lines. But what we have to do, so we don't do that today. We don't vote on district candidates today. But we do vote on candidates to go to that district convention. Make sure we have populated it sufficiently so there's at least one person there at the district convention, hopefully it's a candidate, who will vote for himself, because if nobody shows up and votes for him, he doesn't get nominated, he doesn't own the ballot. So, and here, we do have NOVA, and this has been used. We do have candidates, sometimes we're going to discuss one in the next segment, we have county nominations, where they haven't showed up, we don't know, maybe somebody here knows them and can speak to them, but if not, then we have to make a decision. Are we going to nominate someone we've never heard of or heard from or not? That can be a difficult decision, but it's something to think about. Now, we have here CD8, and it has Congressional District 8. It covers parts of Harris County, Montgomery County, Walker County, and others, but those are the 3 counties where we are have a structure. We are developed. We have a county affiliate. And the 2 candidates are Rush Jones and Ken Petty. I think Mr. Petty was here previously. He's still here. If he'd like to stand up and say a few words, I don't think Mr. Jones is here.
I don't believe so.
Okay, that's fine. But what we want to do is, if you were in CD8 in Harris County, we need to make you a delegate to the district convention, which will be held a week from today, March 22nd, at 4 p.m. at the Corner Bakery Cafe, the same place we had our Memorial Precinct Convention. It's a very nice little place. It will be there. So Mr. Petty and Mr. Jones need to get out to vote so that they can secure the nomination.
Next Saturday.
So, anyone here, we can do, does anyone know that they are in CD8?
Is that U.S. Rep?
Congressional District 8. Who's the incumbent there, Mr. Petty?
Kevin Brady is the
Kevin Brady. Is anybody here? Kevin Brady? No argument here. Okay. Then I'm going to do these all together. CD9, partly in Harris County and Fort Bend County. Johnny Johnson is running unopposed for a nomination. Of course, you live in that district, Mr. Johnson, and you want to be a delegate to that. Absolutely. Okay. In CD10, Travis County, Bastrop County, Waller County, Harris County, and others. It's Bill Kelsey out of Austin who's that candidate. I don't think anybody's going to really, we're not going to hold that district convention here. That's going to, even though it includes part of Harris County, it's going to be over in Austin. So if you're interested in that, CD10, then you may want to be made a delegate to that convention so you can go and participate, although Mr. Kelsey is not opposed. Then we have CD22, Brazoria County, Fort Bend County, Harris County, Rob Blackman. I saw Mr. Blackman here. Well, maybe you want to say a few words, but if you are in CD22, and that is Pete Olson incumbent?
Yes.
If you're in Pete Olson's district, then you definitely should consider becoming a delegate to that district convention to make sure that our candidate gets nominated. CD36, Harris County, Hardin County, Polk County, and others. Rob Rourke and Rodney Beach. Rob Rourke is here, yes. So you want to be made a delegate to that convention. Are you related to Rodney Beach? Yes, okay. So you want to be made a delegate to that convention. All right. SD17.
Point of information.
Yes.
Can people who are not in attendance here and are at the precinct conventions be made delegates to the district convention?
Yes, they can, but they need to be prepared to affiliate before they can vote. Okay. So if they're not affiliated at all, they're going to need to do that. SD17, Harris County, Fort Bend County, Missouri County. Bill Kurtz is here, and George Hardy. I don't think Mr. Hardy is here. He appeared to one of our candidate nights. He's from Fort Bend County. So Mr. Kurtz will definitely be made a delegate to that convention. So that's the process. We are not limited in the number of delegates we send to the district convention. Unlike the state convention, there's no numerical number. And the purpose is different. The purpose is just to get a sufficient number there to get business done and get our candidates on the ballot. One will do it. But one thing, and when you go to the district convention, it's a little different than it is here and there. You must be in that district to vote on the nominee from that district. So we can say here, just to catch all this global thing, we can say all of the delegates here, all 60 of us, are made delegates to all the district conventions.
For which they are held.
Yes. Well, they can go. Whether what they vote on is up to who has run the district commission. So there are delegates there, but what race they get to vote on. All 60 delegates to this convention be made delegates to all these district conventions.
I'm not putting a number.
CD8, CD9, CD10, CD22, CD36, and SD17. But everybody here, credentialed and voting, is a delegate there. If we do it that way, then it is up to the candidate to make sure he gets someone there that can actually vote. Is that acceptable? Then I will accept and entertain a motion that all delegates of this convention be made delegates to the district conventions just named. Do I hear a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So let the record reflect. CD8, CD9, CD10, CD22, CD36, SD17. All those here, all delegates here are delegates to those committees. Now we're turning to nomination of candidates. Yes.
Are all these conventions at the same time in place next week?
Well, with the one exception of the one I talked about, CD10, that's going to be held in Austin because it's more of an Austin thing. We just got a little glimmer of Harris County.
The rest of them are
But the rest of them are at the Corner Mesa Cafe at 4 o'clock in the Memorial Echo Lake Shopping Center.
Are all of those candidates here?
They're all at the same place.
Okay.
But the ones we're about to vote on, or the ones that...
Well, I would make sure candidates in these offices are delegates to the
Oh.
convention.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
Yes, that is a motion.
Okay, so you want to make, in addition to those of us here, the candidates themselves, that's a good part. Thank you.
Point of information, or point of order. Is that an amendment to one motion, or we
No,
want to be...
no, we just additional delegates.
Okay, so it's a second motion. Then point of order. We have a motion on the floor. Let's go ahead and get that passed first, and then we'll go to the comments.
What's the motion on the floor?
Motion on the floor. Ken Louder moves that all credentialed and voting delegates to the Harris County Lutheran Party Convention are nominated as delegates to the following district conventions.
I thought we voted on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Dale.
Could you repeat the date of the district convention?
It's a week from today, March 22nd, on Corner 83 Cafe in Echo Lake Shopping Center, off 83. Now, in addition to those delegates we just nominated to the district convention, we have a motion that the candidates themselves be made delegates to that district conventions, and I'm going to read their names. Russ Jones, Ken Petty, Johnny Johnson, Bill Kelsey, Rob Lapham. I guess we can no harm in him. Okay. Rob Rourke, Rodney Beach, Phil Kurtz, and George Hardy. So you want to have, wish to make that motion with those names? Second.
Second.
All in favor of making those known individuals delegates to the district convention a week from today, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now, are we ready to turn to our favorite activity, nominating candidates whose offices are totally within Harris County? Yes. Bill.
Can I have a word real quick about the district?
Yes.
If you're in one of those districts and you're a delegate, please be there next week. So many times we have kind of just as candidates there. The district is across this county. If you are in one of those districts and a delegate, if you could take the time Saturday morning to join us. Please be there. It really helps us, and we don't feel like we're just kind of there electing each other to nominate each other. So.
Well, think of this. What if only the two candidates show up and each votes for himself? Nobody wins. We can't nominate a candidate. So get your troops out.
Thank you.
All right. Going in order as on our agenda, we have CD2, Congressional District 2, James Vesall and Craig Cleveland are candidates. Mr. Vesall is here. I don't see Mr. Cleveland. I've spoken to him. Mr. Vesall, would you like to say a few words? Or just...
Well,
take advantage of the
The feeling I have is this is really a rotten job, but we live in a civil society, and a civil society is to take care of business. We get elected, we go up there, and we give our best show.
As a point of information, does this actually require nominations from the floor, or just because they filed an application for nomination, they're automatically up for election?
Traditionally, we have nominated. Legally, that may not be necessary, but traditionally, we have done that.
I'd like to nominate James Beasley.
Nominations require no second. Sometimes it's done just as a show of support, but it's not necessary. I would say a few words about Mr. Cleveland. I've spoken to him. He's from cheer of Aransas County. He doesn't live in this district. He spoke and he did not realize that someone was running in already, and he says he's sorry. He would have gone for another office, but he was told that this was going to be a vacancy, and so that's why he did it. And I'm not surprised he's not here. He's running his own county convention in Aransas County and getting a candidate nominated there. Mr.
Can I speak in favor of James Beasley, please? James actually came to me very early on in my campaign. We shared a lot of great conversations. I think he is a fantastic libertarian. He knows mathematically his district. He knows how many voters and constituents there are, and he knows the issues that are important to his neighbors. So please give your consideration to James Beasley.
All right, point of order, we don't have anybody that's nominated Greg Cleveland, if that's required.
All right, someone just go ahead and nominate him, because we need to get this. All right, we have 2 nominations, and of course, that's all that we can have in this process, and there can't be any latecomers. So are we ready to vote?
Question.
Yes.
This is just to have these people go to the state convention?
No, this is to be on the ballot. This is to be on the ballot.
We're only voting for one.
Only vote for one.
Thank you.
All right. Are we ready to vote? We're going to vote by voice vote. All in favor of James Beasley, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor of Greg Cleveland, say aye.
Aye.
All, okay, one. It's always don't want anybody to be unanimous. All in favor of Noda? All right. Mr. Vesaw has on the nomination. Moving next to CD7, Gerald Fowler, running unopposed.
Tom, I nominate Gerald Fowler.
All right. There can be no more nominations. So are we ready to vote? All in favor of Gerald Fowler, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor of none of the above? Say aye. Mr. Fowler makes the nomination. CD18, Jennifer Whalen.
I will nominate
I will tell you that Jennifer Whalen doesn't live in this district. She doesn't live in Harris County, even though this district is all within Harris County. She lives in Fort Bend County. I've never met her. I've just seen her on Facebook. I invited her to our candidate, Harris County candidate, Meet the Candidate Night. She hasn't come. I Facebooked her, and she said she wouldn't come here today. So I'm not recommending her, but this is the typical situation where we consider none of the above. So if anyone has any information about Ms. Whalen that they wish to share, to give us some comfort that we're nominating someone we want to represent our party, I welcome any input that you can give.
Well, Brandon, you nominated her. What do you know about her?
I know we should be in every race, up and down ballot, regardless.
Is she even a libertarian?
Your guess is as good as mine.
She did not affiliate. She did not attend my information is she did not attend her precinct convention, and she did not attend the county convention. So she's not. It's not that she's not here because she's attending her county convention. She's not attending.
Isn't CD8 Sheila Jackson Lee's district?
Yes, it is.
And honestly, I think that
Anybody?
he's better than Sheila Jackson Lee. It's as ridiculous as it seems.
If it weren't for Sheila Jackson Lee, we would not know the Constitution 400 years.
I believe that she is part-time board, maybe?
But she wanted to to drive the rover or to where the astronauts planted the flag on Mars.
Mr. White.
Whereas I also am not particularly impressed with Ms. Jackson Lee. Having someone who is not taking the time to affiliate with the Libertarian Party that we are aware of, and we haven't have any idea of where she stands on anything, and where she is, we are not the sole responsibility of nominating her. If she's in Fort Bend County, if Fort Bend County would like to nominate her for that district.
Now, let me correct that.
I'm sorry.
Nobody in Fort Bend County is to vote for her, but she's running for an office which is totally within Harris County.
It's totally within Harris County, and she is not come to anything Harris County. Just to have a name under Libertarian is not enough.
And that's your choice.
In my opinion.
Do you just want a paper ballot? We can assume that under the circumstance that would be the best thing, that she's a paper candidate. But we don't know that. So is it worth it just to have a name on the ballot, or take a risk that someone does become active and actively campaigns, or just makes a statement that is not what we would wish? It's a hard choice, and I'm probably not going to vote on this. I won't judge anybody who votes one way or the other, because it's a difficult thing, Mr. President.
Both of these gentlemen have a good point. It'd be good to have someone on the ballot. However, there's a lot more involved, especially at the Libertarian level, with running for an office. A lot of it has to do with voter polls, magazines, newspapers that talk to you and find out what the Libertarian stance is. In that respect, I have to agree with you. We don't know this woman. I could not really support her. It would be better not to have someone in that spot with people reaching out to her to find out what the Libertarian stance is. We don't really know if she will support the plans that work.
I will tell you, it's negative when they have these surveys and it says Libertarian candidate doesn't respond.
Right.
Or, and this has happened, and the press calls someone and they say, I'm just a paper candidate.
Right.
That got reported.
I would just like to say,
sorry about that.
We often chastise Democratic and Republican party line voters for voting for their colored jersey just because they're on their team, and we shouldn't do the same ourselves. We shouldn't be hypocrites. This woman obviously doesn't care. She doesn't get here. We also don't care.
Anyone who hasn't spoken yet?
I just browsed her Facebook page. She doesn't like a lot of Libertarian groups. I'm not sure if that's...
How many Facebook friends does she have? That's got to count for something. Mr. Blair.
No, I saw you raise your hand. You know, the same thing has been said about me. Because of my position, you know, we don't know what Jennifer Wayland does. Granted, yeah, she could be dangerous, obviously, to the party, absolutely. But again, the same could have been said about me. I work in the media. Because of that, I am tamped down. I'm unable to go out and speak. Actually, next week is my last week at the radio station, so you'll see a lot more about me. So, you know, we shouldn't judge Jennifer Wayland just because she's not here. Granted, yes, there are some concerns, and I agree with Kurt. If I could rescind my nomination, I probably would. But, you know.
Do we know anything?
I'm sorry.
Well, I think I have to agree with Mr. Kurtz here. The problem is that since we don't know her, and I think there is a big difference between you and her in that I can see you and hear what you're saying. And I have some fears myself. When we give her a nomination, she then gets to speak on behalf of the Libertarian Party. I'm not comfortable with that.
Exactly.
Mr. White.
Is there anyone else here from District 18? Right.
Anyone so?
And are any of you interested in running for the position?
Application, it's Ms. Wayland or Noda.
Isn't it Noda elected, the nominations are reopened?
No. Do they have to file the application for nominations? Well, this is difficult Now, and I'm gonna, okay.
Call question.
All
Make a
right.
motion, call question.
Mr. Bennington had his hand up. so
Do we
I'm-
know anything about her other than her name? Anything? I mean, height, weight, weight.
His Facebook page, I Facebooked her and she replied.
I guess it's a
I became her friend so I could message her, and I did, and was told she would not be here. And I emailed her, about events in Harris County. And I don't even know if she opened up the email. I could check that, but I haven't. But she didn't apply and she didn't come. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm on a show of hands, and I'm going to count. All in favor of nominating Jennifer Whalen for CD 18, raise your hand. All in favor of none of the above, raise your hand. Well, it's unanimous. I hate being one to share that news to a candidate, but when my call.
Well, it would have been helpful if you showed up.
Probably open email 3 months ago.
Okay, CD 29, James Stanley. Someone nominate.
Just a second. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. You don't wait on me.
CD 29?
Yeah, CD 29.
I will accept nominations from Mr. Stanzik.
Nominate James Stanley.
All right. James is not here today, but he has been active. He is a good candidate, and so I would urge you to vote for him. I do not think this is a situation where no vote needs to be entertained. Mr. Hunt.
I actually have to speak on James' behalf. I actually talked to him last night about attending today, and he did mention that he had a family obligation, and we can understand his family comes first, right? So. Honestly, I'm in CD 29, and I have my doubts, but I think that over time I've come to understand that James would be a great nominee.
Mr. Green.
I'd also speak on James' behalf. I've had him in studio, we've interviewed him, he's a really good guy, and he's so much better than Gene Green. I know that we need James Stanzik now.
Yeah, and I heard that interview, he does very well. He interviews very well. He's very, very personable and quick, and that's why I commended him on his good interviewing skills. Mr. Glass.
I will also point out that he was our candidate in 2012 in the same district.
Yes, he got some very good results in a two-way race. So are we ready to vote? Yes. I would ask all in favor of Mr. Stanzik, say aye.
Aye.
Any no to the above? Unanimous.
You to see it, Stanzik.
Yes, thank you.
The next, SC7, Whitney Billevue, running unopposed.
Nominate Whitney Billevue.
All right, we know Whitney. She's a great candidate. She interviews well on Dr. Show. You want to say anything for yourself, or you just want me to
I like to watch nominate Whitney Billevue.
As I said earlier, I'm a 15-year educator in public schools, so I see very clearly what is wrong with society and what is wrong with the way government runs our lives 24 hours a day. My goal as a state senator, number one, is to be the only educator out of 31 state senators. There's not a single one. Yet they get to make all the decisions about what we do with our kids in school and how our tax dollars are spent as far as education goes. So that's something I definitely want to focus on. Related to that would be property taxes. That's definitely something I want to eliminate as soon as possible and take whatever steps necessary to work toward that. That may or may not overwhelm some of you if you're accountants. But I want to focus on nullification. I want to focus on repealing the zillions of laws that are enacted every 2 years in the state of Texas. And so, anyway, that's where I stand. I appreciate it.
Okay. In the interest of time, we're ready to vote. All in favor of Whitney Billevue for SD7, say aye. Aye. Noda? It's unanimous. SC 15, Gilberto Velasquez. Gilberto is here.
I'd like to nominate Gilberto Velasquez.
You've introduced yourself before. Do you have anything in addition you want to add, Gilberto?
No, I tend to talk a lot too much, so you guys break.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor of Gilberto Velasquez, say aye.
Aye.
Any notice? It's unanimous. SC 126, Chris Hernandez.
I nominate Chris Hernandez.
All right. He's not here. He was at the precinct convention. He's been to many meetings, several meetings. So if anyone wants to add anything, I don't think it's necessary, but if you want to be able to tell him that you spoke for him, we've got a few minutes for that. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any no's? It's unanimous.
Can we, you need to reflect that the misspelling of Chris's name is C-R-I-S.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to AC 128, Ken Louder.
Who nominated Chris?
Helene Nolan. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Clay. Okay. Ken Louder.
I nominate Ken Louder.
Ken, any words you want to say briefly?
That's a lot. I'm strictly running to protect Texas from the federal government's encroachment, protect our borders, protect our liberties, especially our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You don't get happiness, but you can pursue it. Appreciate your votes. Thank you.
Matt Strong. Are you ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor, Ken Louder, say aye.
Aye.
Any notice? It's unanimous. So this is another difficult one, AC 136, Frank Kinsella. He's never attended a meeting, he's never shown up. I think Tom has spoken to him once, but that was early on and at the application phase. And so we frankly don't know anything about him. If anyone knows anything about Mr. Kinsella, please let us know. We hate to know someone unnecessarily. Do we need any further discussion?
I mean, I'm trying to remember the conversation with him. I remember he is a very energetic gentleman. I didn't hear him say anything unlibertarian when we talked. He runs a health, I think he has his own business where he sells health products. And so I didn't see anything that says I should not vote for him. But, we don't have a lot to go on other than that.
I think we've had this discussion. I don't know if we need to have it again. Someone that you have no negatives about, except that he hasn't shown up when he had multiple opportunities. He does live in Harris County. That's the difference from that previous. And he lives in the district. So I'm just going to vote your conscience on this. Are we ready to vote? Yes. Has he been nominated? Okay. I think we should nominate him so we can say we ruled on the nomination.
I nominate him.
Are we ready to vote?
Point of information.
Yes.
Who holds that seat now?
AC 136. If Tom doesn't know, I don't know anybody.
I have a spreadsheet. I'll look it up just a second.
We're going to go, while he's looking at it, we're going to go to the next one, the last one. And that's Judge for the County Criminal Court at Law number 10, Brad Walters. He's here.
I nominate Brad Walters.
Okay. Brad's been a great help, a great libertarian for a while, and he's a good lawyer and he's a great judge. You want to say anything? Can you top that?
I really can't top that, but my main thing is, as a judge, I'm not going to be somebody that just rubber stamps probable cause on accusations against citizens, and I'm going to hold the state accountable. I'm not going to just be a rubber stamp for the state, which so many judges are. So I appreciate your support.
Are you ready to go?
I have the information now.
We'll come back.
And that was, we had the number 2 actually from House District 138, 136 has been moved to Williams County. But for 138, is currently held by Tony Coleman. So, at least that's his name.
Let's vote on Brad, and then we'll come back, since we haven't called that question yet. So let's vote on Brad and get that done. Are we ready to vote on Brad Walters for Judge of the Criminal Court at Law No. 10?
I think Brad is very bold to run as a criminal defense lawyer in a local race, and I commend him for doing that. I've seen him come into the criminal courthouse, and I told him that we need more local lawyers to run for judge, and I'm glad that we have at least one in Harris County that's doing that. So I'm giving a special recognition to him.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No. Unanimous.
Okay, I'd like to basically indulge two nominated James Stancy.
I did.
Elliot, thank you. I do? Oh, thank you. Oh, I see.
Well, I'm a little concerned about the discrepancy between the office that Frank Kinsella is running for. Can we check that on the state party website? Make sure whether we nominate him at all or not. We've got the
Point of information, I assume that he must have applied to be nominated somewhere.
Yes.
And if you apply to be nominated, you don't even care enough to send a representative to the meetings. I mean, you've got to wonder how serious the candidate really is. And once again, kind of like the Affordable Convention one, you're nominating someone you know nothing about.
It's a risk. Do you think the benefit of having a name or ballot is worth the risk? So, have we confirmed that?
Yes.
Okay, there's probably not.
You see the natural heating there.
Okay. Now, are we ready to vote on Mr. Kinsella? All in favor of Mr. Kinsella, vote aye. All, none of the above.
Aye.
I think none of the above has it. Well, that concludes our nomination of candidates, but let me say, had we missed anybody? Were you sitting here waiting to have your nomination ruled on and we overlooked you? I don't think so, but once we move on, once we adjourn this convention, that die is cast. So I guess if we ever overlook someone, it was someone who wasn't here, and they would probably get noted anyway. All right, we're moving on to bylaws. At the table, we have both the current rules or bylaws of Harris County and the proposed new ones. It's difficult to do line by line because it's rewritten. So it's either one of these. Let me tell you the three big things that I want to see changed in the rules. Yes.
For information, the bylaws, there's a typo on B1.
Is this the proposed?
The proposed bylaws.
Okay. Could you say what that is so we can correct
It says person voting members determining he or she wants ceases to be eligible to find by 3A to allow it to Tuesday.
Okay. Will you make note of that and we'll correct that? I'll take that as a correction with the secretary. Just mark it on your Did anybody else notice any typos or clerical errors, numbering errors, anything like that? Well, here's the reasons why, the three big changes. The existing law, bylaws, was very deferential to the state party. It said that our officers do these things and whatever the state party tells us. And that if we want to sanction or expel a member, we have to go through the state party and things like that. I know we're autonomous here. Whatever business we need to conduct, we need to conduct it here. And there was another problem with if that office of chair is vacated for any reason, the rest of the executive committee couldn't fill that vacancy. It was the vice chair. who just assumed that. And I said, no, they need to repopulate, have the ability to repopulate that. And so that was another thing. And those are the two big issues, the reasons we changed it. But I think we did make it tighter and more elegant, more readable. And it is now, it was a different thing from all the other county chair bylaws that I had read. And this is more in the vein of what I've seen with some of the other better county bylaws. Another thing that is different is that we have, in the event that our state chair ever appoints a county chair, which is not likely to happen in Harris County, that we totally go unorganized and have to have an appointment from the state chair to get us up and running. But in that event, then we said that we can then hold an election and elect our own chairs. Once we get reorganized, then we take control of ourselves and we can elect the appointed chair if we want, or anybody else. It's our own destiny. So those are several things that I thought we really needed to do.
If we become unorganized, which I don't see happening, but wouldn't then the bylaws be not in action if there is no one to enact them?
I would say that even without that change, that it is just the chair that disappears. We're still not unorganized. We have an executive committee, but that has been rumored, that has been discussed in ways that didn't make me feel comfortable. That if the chair's gone, then the county's unorganized. And I said, no, I disagree. But this makes it clear that we take that position, and we will. And we can elect our own chair, whether it's the appointed one or not.
You had a technical suggestion for this document?
Yes.
Was that
And I accepted it.
Okay, good. I haven't made
It's a clerical.
Okay.
I don't think we need a motion to correct the clerical. That's not what we need. Ms. Zimmer.
Yeah, is this where we're asking questions about the rules?
Discussing it.
Okay. On Article 4, in the meetings and the notification, can we get something specific in there that it must be, because there's lots of, it just says website, meetup group, email list, Facebook page, or U.S. mail. There is no, it will be, the notifications will be here at this time so many days before. I think there needs to be, if it is a website, then the website needs to be listed. If it's the meetup group, then...
Oh, instead of website, you say the Harris County Libertarian Party
yes,
website?
a specific website. And which one? Because there's, all of them say or, and so I know at my place, I don't necessarily get mail. So if you send it through the mail, maybe it should say and.
Well, that's an awful lot of work.
Well, you have a secretary. It's not an awful lot of work to make sure that people are aware of the meetings. I think that's the part of one of the problems previously was that there was not much notification given. So I would say the specific website, the specific meetup group, the email list, and the Facebook page, and via U.S. mail. Or if you want to drop out the U.S. mail, whatever, nobody uses that anymore.
Well,
I would
actually,
say
some do.
Okay.
I believe we abolish U.S. mail.
But at the very minimum, I think if you're trying to grow the party, you need to make it mandatory that the notifications of meetings are posted in all of these places within a specific length of time.
I would say that the modification adds more possibilities. It didn't have, it had a few, like two or three, and we just added for Facebook. And
I don't know if it's on there. I would say that the word may is also the problem, that it should actually say will.
Yeah, there you go.
Point of order.
Or must.
Point of order. I'd like to hear a motion if we're going to do this. Motion to amend article.
I'd like to have a little discussion.
Yeah.
But we need to, before we hit discussion, we need a motion. That's the point of order. What is the motion?
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept these proposed changes. Then that motion can be discussed, and then it can be modified.
They want to accept it.
Second?
And what is it that's moved?
Move to accept.
Move to amend Article 4A.
No, it's to move to accept these amended rules.
No.
We have to have that motion first.
Yes.
Before we can talk about modifying
Yes.
the proposed.
Exactly.
So first we have to move to first accept this, and then we have motions to modify this.
But I would rather modify it before it's accepted.
We can't, we have to have this in play first, and then we modify this. And then,
Is there a second to the motion?
Right.
All right, now we're discussing it, not in the previous discussion
Oh,
here is over.
second, okay.
Right.
It's not been adopted.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
Sorry.
Mr. Dale.
I would urge rejection of the motion for now, so that we can hash out any modifications and then vote on whether to accept the document as modified. The analogy I would make here is that discussing modifications would be the primary, and deciding whether to adopt the modified document would be the general election animal. But to adopt it first, then we might have a possibility where we don't get done modifying it. Let's go ahead and modify it, make sure it's what we are all comfortable with, and then vote on comparing it to the current document.
A point of order. I think the proper procedure for doing that is to make an amendment to this motion that's on the floor.
And I think we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But now we're discussing so people can frame an amendment and know what they want it to say. This is just deliberation and hashing it out. And then maybe we'll have a consensus about what we do.
So are we just in a discussion mode?
Yeah, we're in discussion mode. And on this particular one, on the meeting, I think I hear a desire that it say something like, published notice shall be given on the official Harris County LP website. I don't want to give a URL because we've changed it. That name gets changed sometimes. But what the official Harris County Libertarian Party website.
Shall be given?
Shall be given. Yes, shall. And the reason I don't want to box in too much, there's some people who only get mail. I mean, really, you'd be surprised how many there are. So if I know this person's not on Facebook, doesn't do email, or that isn't on Meetup, that I can send that person a letter. And but I don't have to send everybody a letter.
Why? The language does not mandate sending everybody a letter.
Yeah.
It says or.
Madam Chairman, may I?
Yes.
Since there actually hasn't been a motion to this point, may I go ahead and make that motion that the wording of that second sentence shall read, public notice shall be given on the official Harris County Libertarian Party website, semicolon. In addition, it may be given the following ways. That there be a definite place there, and then we are not limited to that, but everyone knows that at least on the official website, there will be notice 5 days in advance.
And can you make sure that it's being taken down?
Yes.
As you wish. Okay, we'll have some more discussion, but I think that's on the table. Mr. Gillespie.
As a marketing advertising guy, that knows my community, I don't think we need to just say something like Facebook page. We need to say digital social media networks, or U.S. mail. Because something may come along to replace Facebook in the next 3 years. Something is Twitter, I think just say digital social media networking, that is it.
That's why I said in my motion.
Acceptable, Mr. Swine?
Yes, ma'am. That's
I
my
don't know if
motion.
you need to define.
No, there's no reason. That's why my motion was, in addition, other notices may be used. Period.
We don't have to define it.
But as long as we say shall on the website, that is the official place for notice. Other methods may be used, just with that authorized.
So,
All right. Any discussion? Are we ready to vote on the amendment to the motion to accept these proposed modified bylaws? Meaning this text. This change on Article 4, Section 8. Okay. So you're calling for question? All right. Question has been called. Are we ready to vote? All in favor of this amendment, replacing this language in the proposed modified rules? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? It passes unanimously. Now, the main motion is to adopt these rules as amended.
I motion to add from the previous rules, from Article 5, Section B and C, to the end of Article 3 of the proposed change rules. I believe that having an extended county executive committee allow us to have a more democratic running of the county. I think it allows more people to have a voice and to reward activity.
What's your specific suggestion?
Article B of the previous rules, County Executive Committee, sections B and C, which B is any group of 10 or more voting members may appoint an at-large voting representative to the CEC. Such groups must submit writing first signed by 10 or more voting members listing the name of the person elected to represent them. Voting members may not sign more than one such petition, and the appointed representative must be a voting member. And then section C is a precinct chair representing any precinct with 3 or more voting members is eligible to become a voting member of the CEC.
Okay, this is Secretary requesting some technical assistance here. I need you to bring that to me so I can write this up so people can see it.
Any of the current bylaws?
Okay, all right, but then point of order. What's on the table right now is the new rules, and we're talking about amending the new rules.
I motion to amend that we take these from the current bylaws and add them to the Article 3 of the proposed bylaws.
Article 3.
Take it from Article 5, which is the county executive, because the county executive committee
Point of order.
All right, help me here, Clayton, watch what I'm doing and tell me what we're doing here.
So down to Article 5, because that's where B to C.
Copy that.
Copy that and add that to the end of Article 3 of the new proposed rules. Well, actually, it would probably be above B.
Yeah, I think it would have to be above you.
Yeah. Yes. So it's adding it to the.
Point of inquiry. Is there a limit to the number of at-large members on the CEC?
Not specifically, but as a practical matter, how many groups of 10 do we have? So they can't have more than one.
Point of information, can we clarify who qualifies as a voting member? Is this just anybody that shows up to a meeting one time? Is this a regular attendee?
It's someone who is a registered voter in Harris County and affiliated with the Harris County Libertarian Party.
It's defined in section 2.
Yes,
There's no-
Already.
It's not just anybody that you can't go do it on your street and just get people to sign a petition.
Are we in a discussion mode right now?
Yes, we're in discussion.
All right.
Discuss,
I like this idea and concept. I'm just throwing this out there and everybody can get mad or whatever. However, I see this as a potential problem until we actually have this problem. We're creating a solution for a problem that may not as of yet exist. And to me, this opens up the door for way too many cooks and not enough people actually doing the work in the kitchen. And that to me is just, it kind of looks like that to me. And it looks like it can create problems down the road. I would say that don't adopt it until we actually have, until we have to say, okay, yeah, we have this many people, so many people showing up, et cetera, then we need this.
Those are already our operating rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, but I'm just saying, if we're talking about adopting these to be a part of the new one, I'm just saying, why add this in, is all I'm
To me, it gives-
asking. And I might be completely wrong,
Well,
but,
to me,
you know.
it gives 10 people a whole lot of power that this body doesn't have. And I think those decisions should be made in this atmosphere, with this formality, this number of interested people having as much a voice as anybody else.
All right.
So I'm not sure, were you for it or against it?
I'm against it.
Okay, and myself, I see it as a way to encourage people to become active in the local party.
I can see that.
And also, at least from one thing I've seen, for the precinct chair at least, it encourages people to work their precinct to get a large showing, because if you get more than 3, I mean, I know at my location, I was the only person that had more than one person in their precinct. And I think that having this rule and having it, especially not just being kind of back in the back, but showing, saying, if you do this, you do get a say in the county executive committee, how the county is run. And it rewards activity. And that's what we need to do. We need to reward activity, because that's how we make money.
I'd like to speak on that. Rewarding activity is a good idea, and while this sort of limits just getting people off the street, to me it doesn't. A voting member of the HLP is a person who's a qualified Texas voter, just supports party statements or principles, and is not affiliated with any other political party. My concern is if we adopt this as is without possibly changing the qualifications, that all you need, one person, if you want to impose your will or cause disruption, is you get 9 buddies who are registered to vote, bring them, and all of a sudden there's a position created. I think there needs to be something for qualified voters, which would be in Article 2, need to attend 6 meetings, 8 meetings. So let's reward actual activity, not just get 9 people with
Well,
it.
then you would have to be amending the Article section, the Article 2 of the HCLP voting membership, and not this. So that may be another motion you may want to, after we do this amendment.
Mr. Fowler.
I think I agree with you. I think it's a good idea in principle, because I think you're right. I think participation should be rewarded, but I think prolonged, sustained participation should be rewarded. Not having 9 of your body show up one time to create a position on the executive committee and then you never see these guys again. So with a further amendment to the qualifications of those that would be entitled to do that, then I think I could support that amendment.
Let me say that the petition that is passed around, what is it going to say? When you do a petition to get on the ballot page, it says right there, you cannot have voted, signed any of the petition, you cannot sign any of the petition. So that person needs to know, this is your one shot that you have. So how many groups of 10 do we have? If we wanted to have a business affiliate business meeting, to add to the executive committee, where everybody is given notice and everybody can come and say, we want to create these additional positions on the executive committee, to me, that's a better way to do it.
So you're saying that if we don't amend it today to reflect this opportunity, that we could at a later time do it?
We could have, if you read about, this is something that we have that I've not seen any place else in the Libertarian Party, and I like it and I want to keep it, is the affiliate business meeting. We should meet officially more than once every 2 years. And we should have the fast, and it does, we have the capability at that meeting to do things like add additional positions to the executive committee. So if we say we should have an affiliates business meeting every 6 months, then if someone wants to go on the executive committee and create a new position, then bring more than 10 of your friends. But have them come there and we all vote on that. Mr. Tyler.
Honestly, are we all here because we don't want more government? Why are we electing Lincoln Street and stuff?
Yeah, let's keep it small.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Flack.
I'd like to call the question on this issue.
Well, everybody's got their hand up, so we get to speak before we do that. Mr. Sherman.
It seems to me that for the people here that got selected to the CEC, 60 people to decide when you get there on that position. How does making 10 people able to have someone else in that position make fun?
With an equal vote to the others. Are we ready to call the question? Let me lay out the question that we're voting on. We're voting on Mr. Hunt's amendment to the main motion to include this procedure that you see up here. So if you vote aye, you will be voting to add this language. If you vote no, you will be voting to not add this language and leave the proposed rule amendments as is in that respect. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
I rule that the noes have it.
Division.
Okay? On division, we're going to do a hand count, show of hands. All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand. Oh, you didn't say aye, you just raise your hand. Okay, would you count?
1, 2,
3, 4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9, 11, 12,
13,
14.
14. No?
1,
2, 3, 4,
5,
8, 9,
10,
11,
12,
13,
14, 15, 16, 17.
23, 25. Chair did not vote. The motion failed. We're back. No questions. We're back to the main motion. Any other amendments to the main motion?
I would like to, instead of the previous attempt to ban the CEC, that we entertain some language to officially recognize an outreach position that can be.
Well, I don't want to put that in the bylaws, but I do want to have a resolution to that effect. If we can get to resolution, we have 30 more minutes that we're supposed to be out of this room, and we have some resolutions to get to. So I'm going to want, without, if there's not too much discussion, I want to call it off. I want to get this off. Ms. Hunter.
Yeah, I have an issue with Article 5.
The new one?
Yes, on the new one. It says, any chair or other 2 members of the CEC can call a special meeting to, let's see, to conduct non-routine business such as change of bylaws. We just voted down 10 people getting together to create a position to let somebody do outreach or whatever, and have it be a voting member, and in the very next rule, you want to have 2 people call a meeting and change the bylaws.
We'll call the meeting.
Call the meeting, yes.
Okay.
And the special convention is what we used to call it the affiliate business meeting. I thought that was not descriptive, so I changed it to special convention. And the chair can all on its own call a special convention. Or if the chair doesn't want it, but any 2 members of the executive committee, they can call it. But all it does is trigger that meeting where things like that can be done.
Okay.
Yeah. All the notice provisions that we all.
Would we get a 5-day notice on a special meeting?
That's what's in there now.
Okay.
So,
yes,
pardon me.
It does say that 10 voting members in good standing are the quorum. I believe that, as we said, that if 10 members is not good enough to approve someone to be on the CEC, is 10 members good enough to change the bylaws and the rules?
Well, that's a good point. 10 was what was in there. I didn't change that number. But it may be with their increase, and then 10 was considered to be a challenge. And now we may say 10 is nothing. Maybe it should be a larger number. So, Mr. Davis.
Some ambiguity, voting member of the ACLP or voting member of the executive committee?
At special committee, ACLP.
On B, it says, notice shall be given to voting members of the executive committee or the ACLP in general?
For the special convention of the ACLP.
Shall be given to voting members of which body?
Voting members is a defined term, and it's not restricted to the executive committee. Anything else? Mr. White.
in here, the notification method is different from what we just approved earlier for general. I thought we have a unified
I think
language
we
for
could
that.
entertain a motion to make identical changes.
I move that we make the language be identical in terms of method.
All right.
Call a question on that. All in favor?
Yes, all in favor of changing the notice provision language to be identical with the other notice provision language we have just agreed to. And that appears in another part of the same document. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I think that will be changed consistent with, so that notice is given the same way for each purpose.
That was to Article 5, correct?
Article 5, Section B.
Yep, that's what I did. Just want to make sure.
All right, Mr. Hunt.
I motion to amend that, in Section C, where it says, shall be 10 voting members of good standing, I motion to change that to the quorum of the last county convention, which would be half the county convention plus one.
That'd be 31 people. I don't know that you're going to get 31.
Never had 31.
And I don't know you're going to get 32.
Well, maybe it doesn't even change. You
That's-
can't get people there to vote on it.
Well, then, if we're going to do those 10 people special.
I mean, I can see going
The
up to
difference
15.
between those two is the one that you wanted was any 10 can just get together and change the rules. On this one here requires a special convention. If only 10 people show up, that's it. But the notice is given to the entire body that there's going to be this change, so we all have the opportunity at that point to get involved. If we choose not to, we live with the results.
Ms. Duncan.
But isn't it similar, shouldn't it be similar to how it is on SLAC? Like there's a certain number of people that are there, and so a certain number of people you have to have in order to do any business. Is that not correct?
Well,
A minimum
that's,
number.
I know they're not the same thing, because there is, SLEC has a defined membership. Once this convention adjourns, it doesn't exist anymore. So the numbers of people who are here are quorum to conduct business it's not a match. SLEC is an ongoing body with a defined membership and a quorum that flows from that.
It prevents someone from getting together with 10 other buddies and just changing the rules wherever they want it to be.
Well, everybody would have notice. I mean, I'm not saying that the 10 is magic. I'm just saying that taking it by quorum to this group is not workable.
Oh, wow.
Okay, the question's been called. Are we voting on the, let me lay out the question. Well, was there any motion on that?
There was
motion.
I didn't hear a second.
I didn't hear a motion.
I didn't.
He motioned. You made a motion.
Okay. Was there a second?
Second.
All right, then we need, I need some help in laying out the question.
It was in Article 5, Section C, where the current language says, shall be 10 voting members in good standing. I move to amend that to say, shall be the quorum of the past county convention.
Okay, so the question is, I'm just going to paraphrase a little bit. Replace the word shall be 10 voting members in good standing with the words shall be a quorum of the previous county convention. All right. If you vote aye, then you vote to replace those words. Yes.
How do you calculate that?
You'd have to go back to the minutes of the county convention and see how many were in attendance and calculate quorum off of that. It's basically says there were 60 in attendance here today, then quorum would be 31.
Okay,
Majority plus one.
For these meetings, the quorum is always half the people who attend?
By this definition. The quorum for those future meetings would be 50% plus one of the people at this meeting.
Well, ma'am, my question is, how many people needed to attend here today in order to have a quorum?
One.
So, by that amendment, wouldn't the number be changed to one?
No, because quorum is of the people who did attend, not the people who needed to attend. A district convention could be of one, But here, and if I was the only person that showed up here today, it would have been a shorter meeting. But, we would have been unanimous. So, the attendance comes first, and the quorum is driven off that number.
I guess you have a quorum number?
Point of information?
Yes.
I think what Clayton is trying to say is if this body right here represents the Harris County Libertarian Party, then the expectation is that in order to make those kinds of decisions, like changing bylaws, should be made by a quorum of this group.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Now, I say a quorum to conduct business here today is, if some of you left and we got down to Rule 31, we couldn't conduct business. We'd be over. But, so that's fine for this meeting, but carry over the concept of quorum for participation in a future meeting based on participation in a past meeting. I'm not saying that is, I think it's problematical. Are we ready to call the question?
Right. Would you like to see what the language is? Clayton, is this an acceptable rendition of what you said? I didn't use the word quorum. I said a number set by half of the attendees of the previous county convention, voting members who do stand.
I will accept that.
Okay. And I'm getting rid of this.
Okay. Lay out the question. If you vote yes, you're voting to replace this language, to accept this replacement language. If you vote no, you vote to keep the language as it is. All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
No.
I vote no's have it. That's in a minute. I'm ready to do hand call for divisions. Okay. Let's do a hand count. Okay, we're going to do the ayes. Raise your hand.
1,
2,
3, 4,
5,
6, 7, 8, 9.
12,
13,
15 ayes. Nays, raise your hand.
1,
2, 3,
4, 5, 6,
7,
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13.
14, 15,
16.
17,
18.
19,
20.
21, 24, 26.
26. Motion fails. We're back to the main motion. Mr. Field.
I move an amendment on the notice that has been given for a special convention. I move that 5 be changed to 10, and I'd like to speak to that.
Let me ask, is there any opposition to that?
No.
Well then, okay, is there?
Let's make sure what it is.
I need it. Could I ask that we be directed to the applicable article?
Would you repeat that, Mr. Field?
That is going to be Article 5, Section B, change 5 to 10.
And also that's already been modified though to match the same wording from Article 4, Section A.
So we want to change both sections.
Specifically on Article 5, Section B, replacing the word 5 with the word 10. Is that correct?
Yes.
Does anyone have any opposition to that? I'm
Point of information. Mr. Dale, is this a change to both notice provisions that we have modified?
At the moment, just this one.
Just this one. I just move this along, and I don't see any real opposition to this desire to expand the notice.
Yeah.
Really, me personally, I don't know.
Jeff, would you accept 7 instead of 10?
Yes.
Okay. Shall we just say 7 days notice, whenever notice is to be given, 7 days notice?
Does that make it consistent across the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is that acceptable? Can we do this just by acclamation?
Yes.
Let the record reflect, or minutes reflect, that whenever notice is required to be given in this, by these rules, the notice period shall be 7 days.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. Okay, I want to call the question and vote on this. Resolution, we got 15 minutes. Okay. Are we ready to vote on the main motion to replace the current bylaws and rules with this proposed set with the modifications that we have previously made? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
The ayes have it. We are done with our official business. We are not adjourned. Any other business before we get to the resolutions? Mr. Green.
Did we change the language for both areas on the notification?
Yes, we had a global motion that anywhere it's going to be changed. Anytime notice is required to be given, it cannot be 5 days or any other days, or it might be 7 days. Will you say anything?
Say again.
Will you say something?
I'm sorry.
Is there anything else on the agenda before we do resolutions?
No.
All right. I believe a couple of people have some resolutions. Mr. Green, you have one?
Actually, we did not go on the final question of the proposed rules being adopted.
Yes, that was the last one.
The last one was to adopt Mr. Dale's amendment to rules.
No, that was by information. We didn't vote on that. We just did that by information. Then we voted on the main motion. And you passed it. All right. Mr. Green has a resolution. I think, Ashley, do you have one? Oh, okay. Anyone else have a resolution? All right, I'm going to let Dr. Green sit down, lay out his proposition.
Whereas the Republic of Texas has existed as an independent nation for 9 years, and when it accepted admission to the Union in 1845, it remained a free and independent state subject only to the United States Constitution. And whereas the United States Congress passed laws requiring Texas to make expenditures that are unfunded by the federal government, which is a violation of the 10th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Moreover, the federal government has caused the international devaluation of its currency through reckless spending and borrowing, and this threatens the economic stability of Texas. And whereas the United States government has allowed the use of its authority, credit, and goodwill for the benefit of private and foreign concerns in violation of its own Constitution, and in addition, its repeated failure to guard the border between Texas and Mexico has forced the state to spend vast sums in order to protect its citizens. And whereas the federal government has further implemented thousands of laws, mandates, and agencies in violation of the United States Constitution and of the sovereignty of the state of Texas. And whereas Section 1, Article 1 of the Texas Constitution states that the perpetuity of the Union depends upon the preservation of the right of local self-government unimpaired to all the states. And Section 2, Article 1 declares that all political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a republican form of government, and subject to this limitation only. They have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such a manner as they may think expedient. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we urge the state of Texas to hold a plebiscite asking the people of Texas to decide on whether or not the state of Texas should reassert its status as an independent nation. You have copies of that resolution if you'd like.
I may excuse myself since I've been mentioned as possibly being the first president of the Second Republic of Texas. But
You understand this motion is just to put it on the ballot and let people vote. That's all we're asking.
This is not saying to secede. This is saying it should be presented to the voters. We've got to announce the results of our delegation to the state convention. And so I know this is an interesting topic, but we can have a little discussion and see what we want to do. Oh, okay. Any discussion about this resolution?
What is on the table right now?
It's what he's handing out.
Is there a second?
It's a resolution. Yes, adopted by us, and it has about as much force as other resolutions too.
Would we be voting on what, would we be proposing that at the state convention?
No, this is not the same thing as voting as a platform or anything like that.
Stays in this room.
Well, sometimes they put out a press release, or you can talk about it to readers. It's a resolution.
Was there a second?
Okay.
I was going to speak to the motion.
Okay, we need to be brief about this. Let's finish up.
Okay, I like to say something to that. I understand the sentiment behind it. It's going to be adopted as an official position of our party. My counsel is not to adopt a resolution like that. I think that the perception of people already is that we're a bunch of kooks. I don't think that this helps because I don't think it's a realistic goal of the party or the state to secede from the union.
I'm going to make a
I think we should adopt
proposal. I think this is an important issue that should be deliberated. And I would like to call a special convention this summer and put this on the docket for something that should be debated in the forefront and not at the tail end of the convention. Mr. Dale.
Given that no less an authority than Thomas Jefferson, who should know, said that the Congress had no authority to annex an independent country, and that Texas was in fact annexed, it was not a treaty. The treaty was voted down by the U.S. Senate. The annexation of Texas was unconstitutional by the Yankee Constitution of English, and therefore we're simply ratifying U.S. constitutional provisions by adopting this resolution. So I would urge a vote in favor.
It is my intention, if this resolution does not pass, or even if it does, that this is almost a special convention on its own topic.
I agree.
Okay.
Motion to amend the resolution, which is great, and we all agree with it and love it, but from a marketing standpoint, it could drive away somebody new if they perceive us as whatever they choose to perceive us. I think that from a marketing standpoint, it simply is worded as we support the Constitution and all laws in pursuance thereof, backs up what he says, and markets a little bit to a broader audience.
Mr. Patton?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with I think it was TNM, Texas Nationalist Movement. They actually just tried that this year. And I believe they failed. I believe it got knocked out of our state legislature already. So it is, I mean, a hot topic, but it did just get shot down. I mean, I totally agree with it, but I'm also on the side with you guys up there that say it's kind of controversial. I don't want to see more people away already. So
I want to ask a parliamentarian if I'm wanting to solicit a motion to lay this on the table or to table this to our upcoming special convention. What would that be to table?
I would move to table it so we can have a special convention.
Okay, all in favor? Are we ready to vote on that? The motion to table? That may not be the proper word, but our parliamentarian, you know what we mean. All in favor say aye. Aye. No? No. Okay. Well, that's what we're going to do that, because I think this needs a full airing.
I just wanted to make one comment, because I'm not sure it was clear. Speaking of liberty, we're just asking to put this on the ballot and let Texans make the decision. And I think that's part of the Libertarian Party, is to allow self-rule and let Texans make a decision. They've never been given the option.
And I'm going to support that in our special convention, putting it on the ballot, or putting it out to the plebiscite. Anything else on our resolutions? I'm hoping we will have an announcement real soon. Yes, Ms. Johnson.
So I wanted to suggest maybe creating some kind of outreach committee, which we can open that up at the next either meeting or special convention or what have you, but that we vote to have maybe someone in charge of outreach, maybe Clayton or T or somebody that wants to do that. I think
I'm going to put that on number 2 on the docket for our special convention, which I intend to hold a call pursuant to our rules this summer, because it needs to be more formal and organized, and not every man for himself. All right, excuse me for a moment. Talk amongst yourself. I'm going to see what the roll up is. the results, and you're not done voting yet, because we have a tie. We have 32 positions already in the tie for the 33rd. The 32 are Mark Ash, Paul Billiard, Whitney Billiard, Jason Bowie, Rachel Clifton, Randall Dickey, Anna Doodall, Aaron Fields, Brendan Fields, Gerald Fowler, Brandon Glass, Kathy Glass, Tom Glass, Scott Green, David Hutzel, and Ashley Johnson, Johnny Johnson, Vern Kirby, Helene Melton, Ken Louderville, Nickel, Matt Osterhouse, Vivian Pollock, Josh Pretty, Elliot Sherman, Matt Schroll, Alan Smith, James Tynan, Wesley Warner, Thomas Williams, Kevin Wright, and the tie, that's 31. Wait a minute, why do we have a tie? The news, you don't have to vote. They both go, Rowena Wright is number 32, and Brenda Du Bois is number 33. They tied for the number of votes, but it didn't matter because we had enough slots. So anyone can look at this, and I want to pass around the rules of new, we discuss this, and here's the motion, and we've already voted, but I just want to affirm. We affirm that the, consistent with our previous motion and our ballots, that the delegates to the state convention from Harris County will be Mark Ash, Paul Billiard, as I just read all the names down through Brandon Du Bois, and those are our 33 delegates to the state convention. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Yes. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No? That's unanimous. Now, as to alternates. Oh, no. I see what you mean.
Oops. Don't you give them back wrong? Hanging shed?
This was not right. I misread it, I misunderstood it. We do have to vote. Gilberto Velasquez got 51 votes. It was out of sequence, I missed it, I'm sorry. And we do have to vote to break the tie between Rowena Wright and Brandon Du Bois. Anybody wants to look at this to see how I made that mistake, please do.
I think Nikolai and I think Brandon deserves more than I do.
Okay. Then let's you don't have to vote. I'm going to read them again. I think this is important. Consistent with our previous motions and the ballot status, which will be made a part of the minutes, the delegates to the state convention are Mark Ash, Paul Billiard, Whitney Billiard, Jason Bowie, Rachel Clifton, Randall Dickey, Anna Doodall, Aaron Fields, Brendan Fields, Gerald Fowler, Brandon Glass, Kathy Glass, Tom Glass, Scott Green, David Hutzel, and Ashley Johnson, Johnny Johnson, Vern Kirby, Helene Knowlton, Ken Louder, Bill Nickel, Matt Osterhouse, Vivian Pollock, Josh Creedy, Elliot Sherman, Matt Schroll, Alan Smith, James Tynan, Wesley Warner, Thomas Williams, Kevin Wright, Gilberto Velasquez, with a tie from Rowena Wright and Brandon Du Bois. Ms. Rowena Wright has withdrawn, leaving Brandon Du Bois as delegate number 33. Are we all agreed to that? Okay, the unanimous agreement that that is our, by acclamation, those, to supplement our previous motion and ballot, those are our delegates. Anyone, any opposition? Anyone see differently? Okay. Now, returning to the issue of office, the same disclaimer that we've been given, we cannot guarantee or even predict that any alternate will be seated at the state convention. However, our alternates will be, in this order: James Diesel, Clayton Hunt, T. Finnegan, Alan Vogel, Stephanie Zackley, Jeff Dale, Chris Hernandez, William Finnegan, and Don Cheeseman.
Yeah, Rowena should be at the top of the
Oh, do you want to be, yes, okay, I agree. Let's put Rowena up there. She was gracious enough to withdraw, they should knock her out. I see the point.
I move that she's first alternate.
Yes, first alternate is Rowena Wright. And then James Esoff, Clayton Hunt, T. Finnegan, Alan Vogel, Stephanie Zachary, Jeff Dale, Chris Hernandez, Brandon Boyce, William Finnegan, Don Cheeseman. We need a motion for these to be our alternates in that order.
Wait, wasn't Brandon DeHoyos also?
You're a delegate.
But you would name them.
Oh, I named you?
Yes.
Well, thank you for keeping me straight. With the exception of Brandon DeHoyos. Yes, you can't be an alternate of that. If you're not there, you go and take your place. That'll confuse them. Okay, with that correction, we have a motion to accept these as their alternates. Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No? Thank you. All right. There's no other business. I'm about to ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr.
I
Chief?
just have a question.
Yes.
Would it be possible to get a list of the delegates and all that at the end of the meeting?
Oh, do we have a copy machine here?
Yes, we do.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just make copies.
Thank you.
Move you adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Give it a And there is no opposition. Thank you for a wonderful business.
Mind me if to be around, so you'll be here.
We're already on Americans waiting for us.
Yeah, I actually do.
T and I are both we came in Mississippi and we came in making a difference, and we both looking at now I guess
I heard a guy the other day, and I don't know what he was talking about. He said,
It's like, okay, like the other day, I was having a meeting with governors of all the governors say he threatened, he said, I will be very offended.
Last time I heard something like that,
from seeing it,
and this is what I mean, we need to get all these like-minded people together to make this thing happen. And we have plans. That's it. Once this thing is over, once we got 10% of the electric, hey guys, I've got to go.
Very nice to meet you. Yes, sir.
Yes, no, you didn't. But you're in
Somebody forgetting on ball?
Well, good job. We'll see you at the state convention. You're going, right?
I'll ask Pat to come to this for at least the next,
To me, it's not about.
I could go.
It's about making sure that we provide. Local government.
And I don't think there's anyone coming from Massachusetts.
I think it's there are other ways to but other than that, we don't need it. So if we want to spend those funds, why are we providing only, then that becomes part of the process. Yeah. Like everybody. Yes. We are, and something for any part of that, to go, it's just the, yeah, say how much we funded, in fact, right now, we're still having
Court cases. Yeah, there should be a couple of requirements, for sure. But it's constantly, yeah, it is back in, it's about the way there.
I like that. I like your idea.
Way there funded. And I personally.
It used to be 15 or 14. Now they mean, yeah. And right now it's 18 years old unless you have a GED for 17. And I think that every time we raise it,
Well, actually, there's one variable that counts through. We're freaking on. There's one variable that has
Yes, and
you're going to
interpolate that
which
way
has
she gets to it.
That
is one variable.
When you saw the 90s,
Well, Reggie, see you here again.
The 70s changed all that.
Hey, Tom, we'll see you later then.
All right.
But here's that other variable. Two.
Well, probably the kids.
The education code, that aspect of the education code should change.
We change the age.
I think parents would also probably. No one was 14, 15 years old.
Well, I don't see the choice of the children. I think it should be the choice of the parents. But if I don't want to send my kids to school, I'm just going to.
Mark, do you have Tom Perkins still have the
Yeah, I agree.
You got Wendy's business card?
Oh, the other day, I got a call out of
Thanks for being here, guys. Okay, now, let's see what we can.
We tried.
Have you done this?
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone. Bye, Tom.
See you guys. Thanks.
You don't know where to go.
Right out here. It's right If it didn't get towed.
Sure. Let's go take a minute.
I know I should take this, all this stuff.
You can recycle it.
I do so much reading, so much analyzing sometimes.
Well, we'll bring that out to the truck.
Yeah, I was curious as to where it should go. What the hell?
Thank you. That bucket is probably the next thing that needs to go.
I'll go with you and follow you.
Okay, thanks.
No reason why it should be. Is that yours too? That's cut up.
Yeah. Yeah, did you get the bucket? And then we'll-
You can put that, you want to put the copy or you want to pick that up later?
I'm gonna come back and get it. I don't know whose paper that is.
It says doctor. Oh, that's the computer. Oh, you're talking about paper.
Mark, got one more.
All right, printer?
That right there, that right there.
Both of these boxes?
Yes.
Okay. Is the vehicle unlocked? Vehicle locked?
No, it's not. It's a camera.
Okay.
¿No le va a falta que estudie eso?
¿Todo este me lo llevo así?
Sí, cuchillo.
Papeles en
Ya está bien, gracias.
¿Vacío este ya?
Anterior, sí, anterior.
¿Me llevo los vasos?
Sí.
¿Dejaron su tableta o es de aquí?
Yes, Dr. Green. Okay, thank you.